I kind of felt like I wasn't in control anymore. And then, like, at that point, I don't remember anything else. But from Jen's perspective and from Joe's perspective, Joe felt like I was gonna punch him at any moment. Like, he can feel the anger. Jen was seeing my face kind of like morph. He was taking a video, so he actually uploaded it, and you can see, like, my eyes didn't look like my eyes anymore. It was completely black.
What's up, guys? This is Chasity. Real quick before we get started, I just wanted to welcome you to Season 3 Ascension of the Lights at Midnight podcast. This season, we're interviewing tons of different paranormal investigators from all walks of life, and we will be having an extended version of the podcast where we get into mine and Emily's chats and do this week's experiences and all that jazz over on the podcast version. Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, you can find us there. So if you want a little more juice and this week's experiences, which so far has been spectacular, be sure to head over and listen to at least the first part of it there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome our first guest of Season 3.
All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started with Jen and Mondo from 305 Paranormal. They are our first guests for Season 3, and we're going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves. So kind of like, guys, what do you do? Where are you from? And give us the whole spiel, please.
Yeah, so my name is Jen. This is my husband, Armando, and we're from Miami, South Florida, and that's where the 305 comes in because that is our area code, the original area code of Miami. And we are, paranormal couple based out of South Florida, and we are with another bigger South Florida team, War Party Paranormal. And I guess that's it.
That's
I'll be covering it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So, guys, what first drew you into paranormal investigations, and was there any specific experiences you had? Like, what drew you into the field?
I would say for me was growing up, having paranormal experiences as a child, and that always sparked my interest in the metaphysical, anything paranormal, ghost, spirits, angels. UFOs. I was like a kid that likes all that stuff. So I was the oddball, I guess. And then I always wanted to learn more. I don't know. And I feel like spirits always like came to me, or something always happened around me. So I think it's pretty natural for me. It was always so normal. And then he came along, and then he had his little experiences. And that's it. That's at least that's for me.
Well, my experience, Jen has told me before, like as we were dating and whatnot, that she had experiences, and I would watch, the paranormal shows with her, and I just saw it as something as entertainment. I never saw it more than anything than that. And Jen's telling me her stories, and it's like, oh, it's kind of creepy, but you're cute and you're kind of funny, so I'll tag along still. It wasn't until I had my first paranormal experience that I was like, I couldn't explain what was going on. But to make a long story short, I was waiting for Jen to come home, and I was playing PlayStation. And at the time in our living area, we had a futon just in case if we had friends sleep over or whatever. So I was playing, and all of a sudden I can feel like if there was a cold mass on this side of my body. And I started to actually hear the springs of the futon starting to go down. And as I tell the story, I see ghost butt, which is an impression of like somebody sitting right next to me. So I'm playing my game, and I'm like, hey, in my head, I'm like, I can see that something's going on. So one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to acknowledge you, or I'm just going to keep playing my game and hope to God that you leave. And that's exactly what I did.
It's either like you acknowledge it or ignore it, right? I think everybody's first experiences are like that. I don't know, that was a thing or something. I don't know. Yeah.
And it kind of left an impression to me as far as what was that? Why did I feel that? Why me? And it wasn't until Jenny actually took me on an investigation of a place that's near and dear to us, because that was the first place that we as a couple went to investigate. It wasn't until there that I kind of got like a better understanding, and it was like I was able to answer the question of what it was that happened to me that night. And I love being a paranormal investigator, because it's almost like I have all these questions, and if I get the opportunity to answer one of those questions, is like go back and jot it down. Hey, this is what happened to me. Blah 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 blah. And it's cool, but it's just like we've talked about in the past. It's a lot of questions that are still left unanswered, that I'm curious to see if we're able to ever answer them.
Very cool.
So then, what are some places that stand out to you that you have investigated?
Ooh, would you like to go first?
That stand out to me, I think. I'm so sorry.
It's distracting. I'm sorry.
You hear it, right?
I can't think. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because this guy. I would say Waverly is a good one, because it was such a bucket list location for me. Like going there, it's so like you're like, wow, look at this place, it's massive. And then just seeing that place on countless videos on TV, it's like you're in awe, right? But then I felt like I wish more would have happened. It's an amazing place. I would love to go back. We almost got the chance to go back, but we couldn't go that year. I think that place, just because of there was good stuff to happen, but it's so impresionante. I don't know how you say that like in English. So.
It left an impression.
It does leave an impression, for me.
I would mention one location that's here, South Florida, that's mainly known for, and Ghost Adventures had gone and investigated there. I would say the Riddle House in West Palm Beach, Florida. It left an impression on me because it's kind of funny how the story was spun that the spirit that haunts that location is a negative entity. And not only was Jen and I, we were able to figure out that it wasn't anything negative. It was actually a friendly spirit. We spun that relationship around. And anytime he ever saw us, the spirit there, Joseph, anytime he ever saw us or we tried to communicate, he would answer us no matter where we were in the house. We could even be outside of the house and he would answer us. So that place will always be...
Yeah, it's near and dear to us because we host events, public events there. Mm-hmm. And that's always a good spot. Like we always get good interaction with Joseph. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting that, he would answer you and kind of spin it around because, it is scary with the paranormal, like getting into it and going into these places. Sometimes you expect the worst because it looks creepy and what happened there. And sometimes you do run into like middle ground, nice spirits. And then sometimes you just run into something that's like, F you. Yeah. It's like, get out or something crazy. But yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
I was going to say... I think it's important too, like with the intentions you have going into a place, because that can also dictate how your investigation will go. If you go in with that mentality, oh, I'm doing this for a TV show and it's all about money and trying to please the viewer, then you might not get what you want out of it, versus if you're doing it purely for like education and you're kind to the spirits there, they're more likely to be kind back.
Yeah.
Excellent point, Emily. Yeah.
Definitely. And especially for Yesteryear Village, like everybody runs out of that house. Specifically that house, they run out of the house, they get pushed, shoved, like they feel sick, literally. We've never had that issue.
Never.
Literally, when I say, hey, I always knock on the door before going in. Hey, Joseph, we're coming in. It's Jen and Mondo. I say hi, like if it's a person in there, like in the kitchen or something, I would say the first time we have the first time we bought an XLS, I
100%
tried
right.
it out. My first time I tried it out was there, and I was like, hey, Joseph, I have a new piece of equipment. I can possibly see you on here. Can you come out as an orb? Because I noticed that you can see orbs on that specific equipment. And then I said, so I'm going to like videotape here. I'll show you, like literally I said this. I was like, I'll show you what you look like if you come through. Like I'm going to videotape it with my phone. Can you just come out as an orb or whatever so I can see you? And like it happened. Like I had about a black ball, and I was like, all right, cool, thank you. And I'm here like crazy. I'm like, I guess I'm just showing this. I'm like, all right, Joseph, look at my phone. Like we're standing next to me watching this thing. Like, I know he interacted with us. Like, and it's always positive. Everybody else, it scratches, get out, feeling sick, throwing up. Never had an issue. Pushed downstairs. Like we've never had an issue. And it's how you come in, 100% intention.
And that's what we investigate with a whole bunch of other people, but we don't let them influence the way we investigate.
Yeah.
We just try to treat them at one point in time, whatever opinion folks had, but at one point in time, these spirits were people. They were actual people, and they want to be treated with respect, and that's what we do, and that's why we garner great results because of that.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. It's very interesting going in different places and getting different feels. And I've noticed that going into places that's been investigated so much over a period of time, the energy is totally different than going into a place that's like newer or just open to the public. I don't know if y'all have experienced that, but for me, like going into Penhurst, for example, you can tell that place has been investigated a lot, and it's brought in some things. I think sometimes the more you investigate, the heavier a place can get. Does that mean there's always like, good, bad, ugly? Yeah, there's everything there, but it's just for me, sometimes I go in and I can see normal people, but after so long a place has been investigated so much, I've noticed like it almost is like decay of energy lines and like all kinds of stuff. And the older the place is, the more it's been investigated. Something that I'm starting to come to the conclusion to is like the less nice things are there.
Sticking around.
I know it sounds crazy.
No. I believe that. Like, yeah. Yes. Less nicer things are just hanging around there. It's just more lower vibe shit, other people's lower vibe energy, and just they like, oh, I like that. I'm gonna stay in the dark.
We can actually tell you from experience, there's locations that we frequent to investigate with guests. And it's towards the end of the year that it kind of feels like it's dissipated, like we're not communicating as much. They close down for the holiday season. They start ramping up in February, March. The very first couple of investigations, they're aggressive. They're like, not aggressive in a bad way, but it's like, hey, you've ignored me all this time. Yeah.
I think those are like the house regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And y'all have been doing this a lot longer than me, so I was like, interested to hear your opinion on that, because it just seems like the places that are highly active, highly investigated, it's a different vibe. It's like old energy. That's the only way I know how to explain it, because we've only been to like 12 places so far, and it's been, over a period of time. And yeah, I've noticed some really good ones and some really like not so good ones. But I'll leave that there. I guess the next one, you kind of got a little bit into this already, but what is like your core philosophy and the approach that you have when you're, investigating unexplained phenomenon? And do you consider yourself, which this is obvious, but it is something to ask. Are you a believer? Are you a skeptic? Somewhere in between, like where do you fall on a range, I guess, from 1 to 10?
So what, 10 being believer?
Yeah, 10 like hardcore full believer in the paranormal.
I mean, I believe it. I'm at 9, but I'm always trying to debunk first, Like if a whole bunch of, if stuff happens here, if stuff happens to him all the time, I'm like, maybe it's just this. I'm always brushing shit off. But like sometimes, I mean, you gotta do that. You gotta like, if we go to places and we see something, we're like, well, we test it out, we debunk it, we try to recreate the whole thing. And if something happens, it happens, because I've had stuff happen where I'm like, I can't explain that. I'm sorry. But I always try to debunk first. I don't know, especially here at the house. I'm like, well, I don't know. You're tripping. And then I find sometimes I start thinking, he's probably like, girl, what the fuck? Like, don't you believe in this? Not believe it, but like, why wouldn't that happen? And I'm always trying to like brush it off, like poo-poo it first.
But I feel I'm happy because it's good to debunk, because at that point, if we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, then at that point we feel comfortable that we got some. Yeah. I'm kind of glad too that she does that, because she keeps me straight. But it's also at the other side of the coin too. I'm also happy when I'm like, I stump her. She's like, I don't know. Yeah. I can't explain it.
Which I like that too, because you're like, it is what it is.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it's part of the core philosophy, you'd say, is like you really get into debunking. And I think that's really important. I think that's awesome. We definitely try our best. It's harder because, guys, I don't think we've talked about this yet. There's one thing I do want to mention, and I hope Jen's okay with this, but she's highly sensitive, and we're going to get into that a tiny bit as well, of course. But she senses things and sees things like me and Emily. And, when you see something and it's like right there in front of you, or you sense something and you just know it, but you still have to debunk it. It kind of can be hard on location when you know it's there and you feel it's there, but something's happening and you're trying to debunk the light angle, and it's kind of hard. I don't know. Maybe how is that for you, Jen?
I mean, I feel for a long time I never said anything, or I was just like, I didn't realize maybe what I was doing. Maybe I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it's a guy, or I'll feel like a guy here, or something, like a male spirit or something. But I would just hold that in. I wouldn't say it out loud until, I don't know. Was it you, Chaz? I think you were one of the people who were like, just start being more confident saying it. And I knew like I had to do that myself anyways. Like I was kind of getting told that. And that's helped a lot, to be honest with you. So now I give that advice to everybody who's like, on their own thing. But I tell him, so my confidant, I was like, hey, this and this and that. And then something would answer that, and he'd be like, yo, like, you got that right. Like, you were on spot. Like, and I'm like, okay. So at least him, like, not encouraging me, but like, how do you say it? I feel like he has my back with that. So like, he helps me a lot with that. And just, that helps me, try to be more, not confident, but more trusting myself, I guess I should say. Yeah.
I kind of like that exercise too. Well, going back to like what she was mentioning, I will go into a brand new location and I'll go with the guide and I'll have them tell me everything. She's outside. Yeah, then she'll do a blind walkthrough, and then she's like, hey, I feel this. And I'm like, oh my God, she did it again. But I'm not saying anything until like the very end. And then like, I'll be like, hey, look, you got this. You said this here. That was right. You said this here. That was right. You said this. I see it in this room or something, but you have it. But I kind of like this practice that we do, and we do practice like amongst ourselves. And I've slowly but surely been kind of seeing that I've started developing my own gifts as well. So thanks to you, and then also thanks to you, because if it wasn't for you, by extension, it's awesome. It's awesome.
You're welcome. I'm happy to. It's like people that are, when you're sensitive and you're around other people, I've noticed my whole entire family shift. I've noticed my certain friends shift in the sensitivity, and it sounds kind of narcissistic saying it out loud, I'm not going to lie, but like my journey has actually affected a bunch of other people's journey, and now they're more sensitive. So there is something to that, what you're saying. And Emily, I think you've experienced that too in some regard as well, some in different ways.
Yep. I mean, I probably, and I say this all the time, like I wouldn't be where I am without talking to you, and going off of your experiences and learning from them, and just having you do my chart and just learning as I go. It's very helpful.
Well, I'm honored to hear that from both of y'all, because it's something that I feel like I'm meant to do. And as much as I try to take myself out of that and not give it the spotlight. I probably should honor it more as a part of myself, because it's what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to help people with this kind of stuff, and I'm trying really hard to get everything back on track to continue to facilitate that, because there's so many people that really need help and really need answers. And Emily knows this just as much as I do. It's hard. It's so hard to get to everybody. That's why we do the type of content that we do for the general public, you know, and the masses. So
Deep in the heart of Appalachia, these mountains echo and the winds howl. Every hill and hollow carries stories buried and long forgotten. But we're here to uncover what lurks in the shadows in some of Appalachia's most notoriously haunted locations. From haunted prisons to abandoned asylums and shuttered relics of another time, we've captured shadow figures in motion, full EVP conversations from the other side, apparitions frozen in time, and light anomalies that defy explanation. Our spirit portal doesn't just pick up static noises, it answers. Every investigation pulls us closer to the truth that something is still here, watching, waiting, and willing to speak. If you're ready to experience real evidence captured by a psychic medium that specializes in the paranormal, from some of the most haunted corners of Appalachia, subscribe now and step with us into the dark of our Appalachian nightmare.
What you said, like how say you affecting other people, what I believe that, like how you saying example of that is like, say you're like me, I'm in a good mood, I'm like high vibe today, I've been like meditating all week, I'm just like I'm like, whoop, you know, shit bouncing off me, you can't get me in a bad mood. You go into work and you're like, hi, and everybody's like, oh hey, hi. Like when somebody's not that they see you do or like that, but you kind of affect other people's mood. And then I think it's the same way. Like they're having a good day and, oh man, this is cool and chill. And, you know, maybe you're bringing somebody else out of a funk. It's like the same thing. Like, you know, you and your aura like affect what's around you also. So if you're, you know, progressing, I guess, you know, or elevating, everybody, people around you are going to be doing the same thing. And if they don't, you're not, I don't know, like not realizing you're not gonna want to be around those people anyways. You kind of just like you shift, you know, and it's a part of growing and learning, you know. So I think
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's a big part of it. And I just want to insert this. This is a thing for the viewer. It's very brief. It's just a reminder because, you know, we try to do a little bit of teaching. We're trying to stay out of the teaching as much this season because we've already taught a lot. But if you're ever around somebody that has intuitive gifts that's trying to tell you something or swayed you in a certain direction or tell you certain things, anybody that represents themselves as a psychic medium, and you don't get a good vibe from them and you don't feel kind of like excited to see them, or you're pleasant, their energy isn't pleasant, just walk away. Yes. Not everybody's energy is the same. Yeah. Just walk away. And that's anybody in life, but specifically for like sensitives, mediums, and stuff like that, because you know, we're getting into the debunker realm of things, and like there are people that are true grifters and people that are not meant to do this that try to do it every day. But I'll get off my soapbox. That was a great place to insert that.
Yeah. Sure.
For the next question, how do you prepare for an investigation, both mentally, physically, and spiritually?
Do you want to take this one? How do you prepare? I know how I prepare. How do you prepare?
Well, if it's, I would have to break this down into two different answers. So if it's like an event that we're hosting guests and I feel comfortable at the location, I may be a little bit more lassical when it comes to like protection and things like that. But when it's somewhere that I know is maybe where guests wouldn't go, or if we're doing a solo investigation somewhere else, I'm always, you know, with my protections, I say my prayers before going in. We kind of have our routine that we do because, you know, things can attach to you, or, you know, can affect you spiritually or mentally, and you don't want to be carrying that with you. when you leave said location. So we have a routine that we stick to. When we do leave, we assert ourselves and tell spirit that they're not welcome to follow us. They must stay at their said location, and we say some more prayers, and then we go our way.
Yeah, if I feel like it's like a really heavy place where I'm like, I need to like smudge, then I wouldn't leave without doing that, and also doing it inside the car. But for the most part, I think depending if it's like a guest thing, like any educational thing, because we also do. There's a place here that we also they do. Oh my God, what's it? A forensics.
Oh, they do a forensics class, and they have us
field
do
trip.
like a lecture, and we do as well an investigation with them. So it's a whole bunch of middle school kids.
Middle school kids, and like I love them.
They're like, so, hey, you guys are like Sam and Kobe. Like, sure.
Yeah, so that's what they know. So they like, they love it. So we're like, so we try to teach them like that, and if it's people like that and in the location we're trying to teach, we don't really get like the negative again, because we're going into in a positive way. We never get like bad results or anything like that. But like if it's a place where I'm like, yeah, no, I think there's like some fucking hag here or something, I'm like clearing the shit out of him, or I've had to help him, clear something out, an attachment off. I like oils, so I use protection oil, and I always like do the back of my neck. I think that's my main thing, and I don't know. I always get a sign from my guide that they're with me. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I got you. I know you got me. You're here. Whatever.
Intention as well. You have to. You have Absolutely. To be like mean what you're saying. That's a lesson I've had to learn the hard way.
Yes.
So I've learned that, and because of that, I feel like I've become a way better paranormal investigator as of that, and then also being able to speak with my spirit guide and ask for protection as well. All of those, it was a painful lesson to learn, but lesson learned
through experience. Saying something had to happen to him for him to like realize like, like I gotta be more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because I guess since I grew up with this, like I've seen the dark, and that should, like I've been psychically attacked when we used to live in another house, and so I know how ugly it could be. But that's never happened to him until we went to like one location, and then he realized like, oh shit, But I told him like, you gotta be strong mentally and in your faith. Like you gotta really mean like, what you're saying. And I think it was from then on is where I guess, I feel like you're more armored up. Yeah.
Do you mind, can you speak of the location that you were psychically attacked at, or is it not public?
For me?
Either one of y'all.
So where I was is it's down the street from here. We lived at a friend of mine. He used to live down here, and literally down the street. And we moved in with him because we were saving up for a wedding at that time. So that house, I used to house sit for this guy before we even lived there, and it was kind of known. Like he would tell me, I'm so cool with him. He lives in LA now, and in Vegas. I'm sorry. Yeah. So he used to tell me, he was like, yeah, there's like shit here. I think he was exaggerating, but until I started staying there is where I will see like hear stuff. His mom was like, you're gonna see the Hat Man here and this and that. Straight up, I saw the Hat Man there, like dead ass. Baby monitor stuff like coming through, just
disembodied.
Every disembodied, like literally that house had a lot of shadow figures where I would like see them, and I'm like, what the heck? In my dreams, I had like horror, like that place is the only place I had nightmares, like actual, like horrific, like nightmares. Yeah, it's crazy. So, and that was the ghost butt that actually happened to him there.
Oh, the futon story. That same ghost butt.
That's the
first same place too.
Where that happened was there. So, yeah, it wasn't until I left there where I never had an experience like that negative really be with me in any place. And we moved a ton of places until we bought here. Mm-hmm. And every place I've always had little things, but that place was like, you know, next level, that you're living in a haunted, you're literally living in a haunted house. And for him, where he was,
it's funny we just mentioned these guys, but literally Sam and Kobe just did an episode there like not that long ago.
And towards the beginning of the year.
Fun fact, if you happen to zoom in on it was Sam that was investigating at the Old County Gilchrist Jail.
Old Gilchrist County Jail.
Yeah.
So
if you zoom in, when in one scene where he's calling Sam because he handcuffed and Sam took the keys like 2 hours away pretty much. But if you happen to zoom in on the phone call, you will see
her name is
305 Paranormal tagged on the wall.
I tagged the wall because we were like one of the first people to like investigate that place, and he's like, you know, we're cool with the owner, we're really good with him. He was like, yeah, I want you guys to write your name up, and I was like, all right, so you know, we're doing it, whatever. Us and a couple other friends of ours, we have investigated her a few times. Mm-hmm. And then, so he's doing a phone call, and you see our shit, and Armando's like, "Babe, we're famous. Our name is in the back." And I was like, "Ain't nobody can read that shit."
I saw it.
That's awesome.
I'm paranormal famous now.
But that place is where he had something attack him, and he had that attachment for him for a couple weeks. Like I had to like clear him off of that for a good while.
What happened to me, basically we were investigating, and it was like a paranormal convention type of thing. So there was a bunch of different paranormal groups that were invited, and we kind of all did like a joint investigation. And something was pretty much like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, I feel like something was conjured up there that wasn't supposed to be there, and I got affected. It tried to affect our really good friend Joe, and he was able to repel it from him. And I just so happened to be sitting right next to Joe.
And Joe, for the most part, he is more like, hey, like more assertive when it comes to that. Like because he's also had experiences forever. Up. So like, you know, I think people who had that are more strong in that, I guess I would say.
So basically I kind of felt like I wasn't in control anymore. What happened to me was I kind of felt like I was cold. I can feel like being taken over. I was getting images in my head, and what it was, the best way I can describe it is in the beginning of every Simpsons episodes ever, the first thing you always see is Bart, and he's in detention and he's writing on the chalkboard, right? And it changes in every episode. What I saw was I kept seeing FU being written over and over and over and over. And as I happened to look down, I can see it what felt like endless, and it had already been written out. The FUs had been already written out. And then like at that point, I don't remember anything else. But from Jen's perspective and from Joe's perspective, Joe felt like I was gonna punch him at any moment. Like he can feel the anger. Jen was seeing my face kind of like morph. It just so happened that a buddy of ours, his name's Steven, from Kindred Paranormal, shout out Steven. He was taking a video, so he actually uploaded it, and you can see like my eyes didn't look like my eyes anymore. It was completely black.
And the camera wouldn't focus on his face. Like he doesn't remember any of this, but the camera wouldn't focus on his face, and it was like you could tell it was off. You know what I'm saying? Super aggressive. He had his DR6. He was like slamming it on his wood table, and I was like, "Yay!" So eventually, I was like, "Hey, you got to get out of here!" Like literally step out. And he wanted to continue. Like he wanted to egg on, and I was like, "No, we're not doing this." So eventually, we took him outside, and I had all my stuff with me, like my cleansing stuff, like oil and like, would I have sage at that time? I think so. I had both Palo Santo and sage. While I was clearing him, for some reason I looked, and this is outside of that building. It's a small jail. So I looked, I don't know what made me look that direction, but I looked to my left, and I saw literally a guy running at me. Like, I saw him charge at me, and when I looked, I just ignored it, and I turned back to Armando, and I stayed doing whatever. Like, I completely like blocked him out, and I've never seen that ever in my life. You know, I can see his face. I still remember that guy's face. Like, he was like that, like angry, like that, how I just did, and like charging at me, and I was just like whatever, and I kept clearing him, and then eventually he felt better, but he still had that. It was still here, you know what I'm saying? And that didn't go away for a couple of weeks. Later on during that night, so that night I had my hair down, and I had my hair in braids. So I had one braid here, and I had one braid here. This side braid, I never even felt it. It had completely like came off. It was undone. And then so I didn't notice until I don't know, we were filming some shit. And then when I'm like looking at my phone or whatever, like I guess I was taking a picture. That's what it was. We were gonna take a picture of something. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, yo, no, y'all gonna tell me I'm walking around with like one braid and this one is like looking crazy right now? And they're like, oh shit. And like people didn't even notice. No rubber band, nothing. Like I never even felt it. So I think it was that, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I didn't know. I guess I was, it's funny because sometimes you do things and you don't realize it, but like you want to wear certain thing that day, and you know, you're just called to do it, but you don't know. So I found out later on, I don't know if this is true or not, maybe you guys know, wearing braids in your hair is like protection.
It is. I was going to say that, especially at night. If you don't braid your hair, put your hair up at night, it can like weave in certain spiritual practices and religions. Yes, it can be protective. So that is very interesting. It's so crazy because that was such a vivid recount of that story. I could actually see it. I could see it happening. Hey, I don't know if it was necessarily psychic, but like when you said that man ran towards you, it's like I saw him running towards you. It was crazy. I don't know. It's like white tank top, just hauling ass. Just
what I think it was
mad what I was doing.
He was mad that she was able to get me out of there. Like he lost control, pretty much.
Yeah, he was
pissed. He was pissed off at her and was trying to stop you from doing that.
And I didn't get nothing. You know, I saw one thing there, like a blue light, and I don't even know what that was. I don't even know if that was good or bad. To be honest with you, I couldn't tell. But it's known. People, they're like, oh, I've seen that here before. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not sure what the heck that is, but
I can tell you it's not the location. It has to have been what I was saying earlier that was conjured up. Definitely because we had investigated that location and gone to more of those conventions that our friend has invited us to speak at. We've been there maybe 5 or 6 times ish and never had that experience ever again afterwards.
Wow. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. For me, prisons hit different. Like in the prisons, I mean, I've been to bigger prisons and like, you know, I've never been to a small prison. I don't think it makes a difference. I don't know. This is an ignorant question maybe, but do prisons hit different for you? Do you tend to find more negativity at prisons? I mean, this is a little off topic, I know, but I just have to ask.
I would say, yeah, that place is really small and it has its negative. A lot of people do tend to have negative experiences there. I've had like one good experience. There is supposedly, I mean, not good for her. It's like a child that's buried under there. Also, we've interacted with her, and we don't have a problem. We've gone to other like little small jails, like all old county jails and stuff like that. And it's the vibe. Yeah, I guess it's like, you know, what are you doing here? I get that a lot. Like, I don't know if like I know spirit knows you and your intention and like. You're more light. You're not like dark, like which they might like that especially in those locations, because people there, you're in jail, they're sitting there, maybe they're not good people, and then it's more like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, why are you here? Like, I've gotten that before. And when we first started investigating, when I first got on the war party team, this place doesn't exist anymore because it got burned down and it's something else now. But it was a big prison, and that was our training ground. Basically, we would go there one weekend, and this place is huge. Some places were negative there, and just eerie, and that to me was kind of my favorite, because I think that helped me deal with like the more negative shit when it came to like investigating more and knowing how to like recognize that, I guess, at certain locations. And then, you kind of sense it walking in or whatever. But it's going to be, we haven't done an asylum, which is, I'm dying to go to an asylum just because I want to see asylum versus prison. And I really want to do a hospital too, but I know that's going to be like that'll be even different. I don't think that's the same type of energy. I think an asylum in a prison, sometimes they might have the same thing where they're left alone. I say like this part, my bad.
Yeah.
So like that location, Gilchrist, it was closed. The sheriff was there from 6. No, he would leave at 6 p.m. and wouldn't come back until 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. And that's a co-ed. So we've left a recorder there, and we went to eat, let's just say. And then we came back and we listened to the recorder, and it's just like, it's crazy. You're hearing like women screaming, mm-hmm. like if they're getting like abused and stuff like that. And it's just that type of like, I don't even know where I was going with that, but for some reason I want to say that. But it's almost like asylum-ish type of like energy. Like we've heard people will leave recorders at asylums, like just walking away and just leaving it there and listening to it back, and it's the same chaos in the background. Everybody sounding crazy, doors slamming, and it's like, so to me it's like kind of like the same energy. I want to experience that though.
The location that she was talking about earlier, our training grounds, it used to be called the Belglades Correctional Facility. We have investigated other jails as well. We did the Old County Gilchrist. We've done Clay County. We've done Bleckley Jail, which I love that jail it's in Georgia. Yeah. Michael Angus, Southern Heat Paranormal, he's the one that runs events there if you guys are interested. We've done Hamilton Jail.
Yeah, man, and they do have like a little dark, it's a little sinister. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I can say it, sinister.
Yeah. But that Belglade just hit different.
It was a bigger location. Yeah. It was massive.
Prisons definitely hit different for me. And I will say this about asylums. You would think that asylums would be a lot more creepy. Like, because that was and hospitals would be creepier. From my experience, I've only been to one hospital. I've been to 2 asylums. And the asylums, you can easily scare things away. Like, the people that were there, they were already a little off, they were sensitive, or they were special needs, and like you can go in and be really sensitive and caring and run into something very nice, but then you also have things in the background that's like, I'm gonna kill you, so I mean, it's crazy. Like, asylums are helter skelter, but I have noticed you can kind of spook things off a little bit and not get a ton of activity. And then hospital, I was in Old Hospital in College Hill by myself for a little while, but I was a puss. I wouldn't leave the waiting area, because once you're in a place like that alone, I would have walked through other halls. I walked through Brushy Mountain by myself, not the hospital. And it's not even that scary. Like, Brushy Mountain, the way it's set up is different, but yeah, I've just started noticing a trend. We haven't been to too many places yet, but I've been to like a few different types, and each one of them do have like a feel, and it wasn't what I was expecting. But yeah, so I just wanted to add that. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's interesting though. Because they all have like their type of vibe, which absolutely,
When did you first become aware of your psychic abilities? Was there a specific moment or a gradual realization?
I think I started thinking that my dreams were, because I used to lucid dream a lot. So I was thinking, and then I've had like premonitions in my dream, or like giving me answers in my dream. And I'm like, example, ex-boyfriend, I'm like, you're cheating on me. And I know it. And then I'm like, they're like, you're crazy. And I was like, no, I've seen it. And then it turns out they are doing that, right? So there was certain things where they was shown to me, and I was like, that gotta be a thing. Like, I don't know, maybe it was just I don't know if that maybe that fell into that category, but I know that was kind of like the first thing that I really noticed. I used to hear my name called out and like talking when I was a kid, but I thought that was just normal. And then later on, when I really started taking it more serious is when, I guess, after we started living together. I've always noticed stuff, but then I would say that house, like a lot of shit was happening in that house where it really like made me stop and think, and I was like, damn, I'm seeing this like with my eyes like a lot. He would start hearing his name like how I would when I was a kid, and then I was like, you know what, don't answer that. I started like getting like little like things, don't do this, yeah, I'm not good, I'm not feeling too good with that. And then I don't know, I guess it just started from there, really. How old were we there when we lived there?
So that was the year that we were saving up for our wedding.
That was like
so that was in 2011 is when we got married. So 2010, 2009, you were like house sitting for them. 2008, 2009. That. So, but like the only thing I would add to that, it's one thing to see it on TV. And it's a different thing to realize that you're living in a haunted house and you're there 24/7.
Yeah, I guess that's when I started realizing, like, hey, I don't know, something's up here, and I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That makes sense. And being put in that situation, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. So, have you ever encountered like a spiritual energy that you found particularly challenging or difficult to work with on a particular location? Maybe we kind of covered it a little bit, but anything else that could stand out to you about maybe even recently that you've been to? When you went to Georgia, did you see anything that was particularly challenging to work with?
No. Actually, Georgia, I think, was pretty pleasant for the most part. I don't think I had anything. We hadn't had anything bad.
No. Savannah, Georgia, you guys rock, man. We love it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, at least we had good stuff happen there. The challenging one for me was that experience with him, because one, that's never happened. We've never had to happen to do that. And I was more worried for him,
Yeah.
So I'm always like on, hey, how are you feeling today? Until I noticed that it was gone. So that would have been my challenge. Other than that, I'd say there is a place that we do kind of frequent. We do events. We haven't been there in a little bit, but the spirit there at the house that's known to be there, eventually got called out. We kind of called it out that it wasn't who the people will stay there. We're like, oh, so this house is known to have this spirit there. And eventually we were like, no, this is like an imposter. Like it just wants that recognition. And then it don't like me no more. So I've even going there, like he gets like kind of like attacked when he goes there also. And now he knows better. So he doesn't even go there. If I'm not with him, he don't go.
I refuse.
Yeah.
I will not.
So I think that to me is probably the most difficult, not really difficult, but could be difficult if it wanted to be. Thing to deal with, because
they don't like being called out.
Well, he does not like being called out, and I don't even like to say that dude's name. So
I understand.
Yeah.
Had that happen at Penhurst Infirmary. We had something come through that literally kept punching me in my solar plexus. This will be the first time when that video comes out that y'all see me kind of freak out, and not in like a way, like back the up way.
Yeah.
Ready to get out of here. You're just in the middle of a field in a building that there was a hospital behind it, but it's just ruins and rubble and torn down, and you're like overlooking it, and you start smelling death. It was nuts.
And you said your solar plexus too, and that's where he gets.
Yeah.
That's why I started noticing when he was getting more sensitive, is because that's what was bothering him when he would go to certain places. He's like, oh, my stomach and this and that. And I was like, that's just something trying to mess.
This isn't a bad Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's not what you ate before. It's like you're feeling whatever's there, and trying to mess with him or whatever. Or I don't know if that's messing with him, but
So there was a location that we investigated, and it's I can say it's my favorite South Florida locations, the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, and it's a history. You're walking into train carts of history. But to make a long story short, there's one that's called the medic cart, and
what are you gonna talk about when you like
when
hit?
Yeah, so I literally fell to my knees because I felt like I felt an entry and an exit wound, like if I got shot. And we were investigating, and we came across someone in a spirit box that they were asked where was the train stopping at, and they said Atlanta, Georgia. And we were able to uncover that he's stopping there because they couldn't stop the wound, the bullet wound, and that he was going to a hospital in Georgia.
Wow.
And I felt the same thing. I had to leave the cart and everything.
But it's always like his stomach. It's always his stomach for him.
Yeah.
I don't get shit like that. I don't know.
Because
happens to me.
Yeah.
Spiritual attachments, yes, they can attach to the back of your neck. But a lot of times, spiritual attachments try to connect to the lower chakras. I'm not going to sit here and say they can't inhabit a chakra that's on the upper part. They can mess with them, but when they attach, they try to attach to the lower chakras, solar plexus, sacral root. And that's if they're trying to seed within your body. And you may even expel that energy out of your mouth, out of your, it can get really nasty. To kind of spare the details, but yeah, it can be really bad. And then sometimes they just attach to you in general, like an energy thread. But that was scary though. Like, that was crazy. I never knew about that story about y'all. I never knew about it. So it was really cool to see it or hear it and check it out.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
That's crazy. Like, man, I don't know. I've had some.
It's fun talking about it now, but now.
Yeah. Me and Emily, I know, have had some crazy stuff, but it's always interesting to hear other people's crazy shit, so we know we're not alone.
Oh yeah. That's what I love, and that's why we love talking to people too, because I love hearing other people's experiences.
Yeah.
For sure. The other side benefit in my aspect is I'll see how Emily investigates, or I'll see how Chaz investigates, and maybe I can incorporate a little thing from each of you guys, and in turn that makes me a better investigator, because like Jen was telling me when we were first dating, it was kind of hard for me to see out of anybody's eyes except for my own. I never saw things or this perspective of other people. So I've learned throughout our marriage.
Oh yeah, you're learning.
But yeah, it's totally cool to see other folks' perspective, and hey, you know what? I'm gonna try to incorporate this because I learned this from this person. So that's the other side benefit to getting to know all the folks that we've had all this time and get to learn from them.
Yeah, that's a great mind frame to have as well, because not everybody has that mind frame in the paranormal field. Some of them are very different. I'll leave that.
That's true.
It's true. So true.
Yep.
All right. Next question is, what's the most compelling piece of evidence you've ever captured, and what made it so convincing?
Oof.
I have one that's my favorite. I mean, And it's not, and then the thing is, I didn't catch the actual thing I saw on camera, but it was like series of what was going on in the background. And that kind of gave me not confirmation, but like it kind of confirmed it for me. So, say for me, like one of my favorites is we were at a deering estate, and that's the first time I ever that night. That was one of the forensic classes field trips. I saw before the kids even came. It was just me, him, and somebody else, and one other person. I saw a cat, but it was like half a cat. So that was my first ghost cat experience, or ghost animal period experience. But I thought it was so fucking real, where I'm like looking for it, like it went between this guy's legs, right? Like how cats do. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, it went behind like a nightstand behind the bed. I was like, yo, there's like a cat in here. Didn't see anything else. Couldn't find it. Went on. Meanwhile, when now the kids are with us and we're doing a spirit box session, I had a recording this whole time because back then I used to record like everything. Now I don't even do that anymore. I just record like certain like segments or whatever. I would listening back to this recording. I'm noticing there's a cat like meow in the spirit on the spirit box. I'm not catching it live. Like we're like listening to it like live. The students are there. And you hear his meow, or sometimes there was one point I heard like a gag, like a hair bob. Like if you ever owned a cat, I had a cat when I was growing up, so like I know what it sounds like. It's like some crazy shit. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, dude, it sounds like a. And then I think I called out, and I was like, what the hell was that noise? Kids came, they left, their session left, and it was just us three again. And I looked towards the bathroom, and I saw the cat again, but this time it was only. First, it was the front half. Now going towards the bathroom, it was the back half of him. And it kind of caressed his body against like some, like a little armoire thing inside the bathroom. And I'm like looking at it, but now I notice it's only half the body, like the middle to the tail and all that. So I was like, okay. And I called it and I was like, yo, I just saw the cat again, like over there. And then the spirit box is still running in the background. We're just talking shit. And the guy, one of our friends, he was like, was it black? And I was like, yeah, because in the thing he noticed it said black. And it was like cat. And then it meowed like 2 more times. And then that's when we were like paying attention. I'm like, wait a second. That was a freaking like a meow. And it was like, meow, like, yeah. And I'm like, what? I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, just that experience to me, I think was. What I saw is not a camera, but everything was going around. The chaoticness was caught on camera, So I thought that was super cool.
It is,
and it never happened again. I don't know. I had asked. I was like, "What are you?" Or what did we say? It said angel, and that's the last thing it said. And nothing else came out of that box at the same time. Like done. I was like, okay, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. What's yours?
So I have 2. So my first one, and it's this is a cherished memory of mine because it's our very first Class A BP. So we're investigating at a cemetery that's no longer a cemetery anymore, and the spirit ended up touching Jenny's butt. I
got a slap on the butt. I'm not even joking.
Yep. So then we went to go to the headstone, and we were like trying to talk to it. We noticed that the REM pod was going off, but then after the REM pod, that we were right in front, the K2 goes to orange, and we were, I forget what we were asking, but the response that we got back, it said orange.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it like confirmed the color that it was going off at that point in time. So that was neat.
That's a good EVP,
but I would say my favorite piece of evidence. So we were at the Hamilton jail with our good friend Stephen Mella, Black Smoke Paranormal, and we're investigating this like living room area, and we're getting a hold of what seems to be like a spirit that was around the neighborhood. So we were trying to pinpoint like what time era more or less he was from.
Yeah.
So then I asked who was the sheriff of the town while you were alive, or while you were here. A good friend of ours, he gave us a list of all the sheriffs from like the first to the very last one while that jail
was. The owner of Gilchrist.
The owner of Gilchrist.
He's the one that gave us, because that jail is not that far off. He's the one that gave us a listing of all the sheriffs that was, ever.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then we ended up getting Kelly. So then I'm looking it up as we're reviewing it, and bam, between 1930 and 1935, there was a Sheriff O'Kelly.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
And we're not thinking we're going to see that, like, who's going to really think that or believe that? But, like, he was like, no way. He heard the name. He was like, wait. I'm like, what did you hear? I'm like, what the fuck did you hear, right? Because it was happening, like, at the same time. And he's like, I found it. And then he was like, rewinds it back. And he's like, and you hear it. He's like, Kelly. And I'm like, looking, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, and that guy was a sheriff twice. Yeah. He was 2 time periods.
He was reelected.
Yeah. Like it was like later, almost going into like the 20s, and then again in like in the 30s. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's really awesome. It's always fun when you can get the links back and connect the dots
right away.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we have about 3 questions left, and they're more so about your opinion. Because again, we're doing this, for the reasons and the support of the paranormal investigation community. And there's a lot of things going around right now. And they're not too, hot takes or anything. It's not too bad. But what do you think is the most common misconception about paranormal investigating?
Oh, I would say people think that kind of like something that we teach the kids also when they come to the classes or the events. Anybody actually, really, because you see ghost adventures, all these ghost shows and everything. It's a time frame, so like you're watching 40 minutes, 30 minutes of something, and everything is popping off back to back to back to back. But like you're not knowing that we're there like 8 hours. Waiting to hit like one REM pod thing, you're like, oh crap, yeah, or one solid EV or anything even happening, maybe a thump or something. Sometimes you don't get anything. So like when we host, like people are like, oh, this is nothing's happening here or whatever, and I was like, well, if you stick around long enough, like something's gonna happen. But that's, to me, it's that people think it's like right away. Well, how come the ghost talk to me? Come on, spirit, talk to me. I'm like, nobody's going to answer you if you're talking like that in the first place. Like, I wouldn't even talk to you if I was spirit, So it's just what people think that has to be like right then, right now, and everything happens in like first 10 minutes. I'm like, no, this is not how it is.
It's because of the society that we live in. It's microwave. It's instant. It's instant gratification. We need it right now. And the line that I always tell everyone, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it 1,001. Paranormal investigating is very similar to fishing. The reason why I say that is because you're going out there not expecting to catch a boatload of fish.
Yeah.
The main purpose of you going out to fish is to get away from everything and kind of have a good time, either by yourself or with your loved ones or your friends and family or whatever it is. If you're able to get fish, that's kind of like the icing on the cake, if you will. Same thing as paranormal investigating. It should be something fun with your friends, your family, your guests, or whatever it is. If you're able to get evidence, amazing. That's awesome, because not every time you have to get it. Spirit may not feel like talking to you. They may just feel like staring at you the whole night.
And watch you get tired and walk away.
Yeah, that could very well be a thing. So that's what I always tell folks. It's kind of see it in that perspective, and you'll understand more.
Yeah, I can concur. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on sensationalism in the paranormal field? How do you avoid it in your own work?
It's just the sensationalism of like the Zach Baggins stuff. Like how do you avoid it in your own work? So what steps do you take?
I would say that to me, it's just be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just be honest. If you don't get nothing, you don't get nothing, and that's okay. Like, I'm not gonna like fake shit just for and then ruin our credibility or our experiences and stuff. And for what?
The thing is everybody has to throw out the D word in order for you to feel like you need to get views. And the D word, if you guys don't know, it's demon. So as soon as you mention demon, that's it. Everybody's going to watch it and know, like, you're not being true to yourself. Not everything is demonic. Just because you get an EVP of spirit screaming, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's demonic. What it really is that spirit is trying to come through, and they don't really understand while trying to get energy to communicate. They really don't understand the octave that they're trying to speak at. They're just trying to relay a message to someone that can hear them and understand what it is that they're saying.
Yeah. It makes sense. Makes sense. And the last thing is what is one thing about the paranormal, if you just any one thing, if you could think of about the paranormal, you wish more people understood?
I guess just that what we deal with, like I said, say for my coworkers at work, they're like, oh, same thing. Oh, that's the devil. That's the demon. And I'm like, well, if your grandma came through and gave you a sign or like came through and talked to you, would that be the devil also? Or is that okay? Is that your grandma? No, it's like, everybody was alive at one point. We talk to them, they show us signs, they try to talk to you or communicate with you. And I don't think you shouldn't be afraid of it. To me, it's like, it doesn't have to be scary. And like, we have 2 kids and I tell them, hey, if you feel something or see something, tell me. And then, I kind of assess from there, but I don't show them, like, I don't want them to be scared of it either. I want them to learn, like how I've kind of like figured it out myself growing up, because I didn't have nobody to talk to me about that. And like, when I would say it to my parents, they would just kind of like brush it off, but I don't do that to them. So I want them to be okay with like, hey, it's this. There's going to be good stuff, there's going to be bad stuff, but like, you always have like control. Like, you have the power, the upper hand on that, because we are here, we are alive. So I just think, nothing doesn't have to be scary, doesn't have to be demonic. And, spirits were alive at one point.
Yeah, very true. I think that because a lot of people see it as it's not, you're breaking a religion thing,
that's another thing too.
We're devils or whatever.
Yeah, we must worship the devil because we do this.
Exactly. No. When a lot of folks, think about it this way: a lot of people that do residential cases, they're trying to gather evidence so that way they can. Who do they call to go and clear the house? The local priest, right? The local rabbi or whatever religion is practiced, and they're the ones that go and clear the house. But why? Because they've had that evidence gathered, and hey, there is something in the house. It's not something that is it's not that the person is mentally ill, or it's not that they're abusing drugs or alcohol. No, there is something really in the home and they need help.
Well, sometimes it is.
Or it could be manifested by them too. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do have a funny story before we do wrap up. And it's actually one of the questions you were going to ask. Have you ever debunked a haunting that you initially thought was legitimate? What was that process like? Do you know the story that I'm going to say right now?
No.
Well, so at the Hamilton jail, we decided to split up into boys and girls. So Jenny and our good friend Mela decided to go in and investigate upstairs, and myself and Steven, we were downstairs, and Lee the owner of the Gilchrist jail, he was walking around. We kind of lost him because we were all investigating. He got up and started walking away.
Yeah, he was on his own thing.
So we were watching the girls because we had trail cams set up throughout the jail, and we had our nerve center where we were actively watching them, but we had a spirit box right next to us, a portal session. So we were investigating while watching them. So then all of a sudden they're getting amazing evidence, and Jenny had a great idea where she always has spirit kind of like follow a tune that she's doing. So at this point, we didn't realize that we lost Lee. He's roaming around the jail, and she starts doing the humming, or you did knocks, but it was
no. I said because normally in jails, what they used to do back then, or all the time, they whistle. Like they, passing the time, people whistle, whatever. So,
shaving, a haircut. It was
yeah. So I was like, oh, can you whistle for me or do this tune? And I did it, and
do. So she did the first part, and then all of a sudden all of us heard the do. And we were all like, oh my God, we got it on camera. We have it in the nerve center. We saw it. Mela ends up.
She got freaked out.
She freaked out, and she left her by herself.
I thought she was running towards it because I was running towards it. And I was like, oh shit, people over here. So I was going that direction, but she was going down the stairs. And I was like,
she was leaving your house.
Yeah, she was like, I'm out of here. And I was like, no, what the hell? So
not only did she leave, as she left, she was saying bye.
Yeah, she was like bye.
And you just heard it go like from loud to low because that's how far she was.
Leaving the camera on. I was like, what the hell?
So then we thought we had impeccable evidence. That was like our highlight thing. So
that was wild.
It was the Lee and that thing. So then we go and review the cameras, and Jenny ended up discovering that Lee was in a different part of the jail, but he finished the tune.
It was him, but I think he did it not even really realizing it. Like he probably heard it, and then he was like, because he whistles. Normally he's a whistler, so he does that, and I'm like, damn it.
And we
and then he realized it. He was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. And then he was like, I started thinking about it. I think I whistled, and I was like, yeah, buddy.
We got you on all angles.
Yeah, for real, man.
That's funny. Yeah, that's great. That might have been a good question then. I was like, maybe that's too much. Maybe that's more for the debunker, because we're trying to figure all this out for this season. So I'm going to leave that one in next time. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's great. I mean, we all have those experiences when we're like, oh my God. And then, then it's something, nothing. And then we're running from nothing. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up everything. I mean, unless there's anything else you want to add, we just want to know where we can find you guys, and we'll be linking everything in the description box.
All right. Thank you so much. So on all platforms, it's 305 Paranormal, YouTube, TikTok. I just forward stuff on TikTok, but I'm mainly active on YouTube and Instagram. And
I go as Mr. 305 Paranormal, and there I discuss not just paranormal, but I'm into like animes, my local sports teams, Dolphins, Heat, Panthers, etc. And I also paint shoes. It was kind of like a hobby that I picked up during the pandemic. So you can see that I'm Mr. 305 or 305 Paranormal on TikTok, IG, YouTube,
that's it,
Facebook, and
Facebook.
You can also catch us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on a little show called Spooked Coast-to-Coast, where you may see one of the hosts of this very show on, Chaz. Has been a great guest of ours a few times, and we hope to have her on sometime in the future soon.
Yeah, Emily. And you have to come on too
as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now you got to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Would love to, guys. Jen and Mondo are awesome. Please go check them out. You will love their content every Sunday. They post videos as well of paranormal investigations occasionally. Definitely check them out. We certainly appreciate you guys coming on. I guess hype in the chat for our first season, our first episode of this season, and our guest, Jen and Mondo from 305 Paranormal.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And the way how you guys can show them love is to make sure that you please give a huge thumbs up and a like and comment and subscribe, share, tell your parents, tell your friends, your next door neighbors, everybody to come watch.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you. And to everybody that's watching, welcome back. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing here. And if not, leave your discrepancies in the comments below.
If you dare.
I'm scared.
No discrepancies, no.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Thank you to all that took the time to listen to this week's episode. Your support means the world to us. And remember, all of us have the ability to shine brightly and shed positivity, even in the darkest of places. Stay safe, stay well, and light it up!